Hey, it's Gage over here at Select Trailer. So here's a walkthrough video on our new Cimarron, the 2-horse straight low gooseneck. We can start here in the front. So we've got our power jack here. That'll be a electric over hydraulic jack, a Goodyear tire with the matching aluminum wheel. We've got our aluminum battery box here with the door, but you've got your 12-volt deep cycle battery. It's got a disconnect cutoff switch here, so that way when you're going to leave this thing parked and sit to keep any accidental power draws. We've actually got a built-in inverter battery charger hybrid here, so that way when you've got it plugged into the truck, instead of sending the standard 2 to 3 amp charge, you'll actually be closer to a 12 amp charge. So it's going to keep this battery fresher for longer. And the jacks do have a safety key, so that way can anybody just back up, hook up at any time. If you don't have the key, you're not going anywhere. It does come with a spare key.
Good.
You've got the stainless nose wrap here on the front, so that way when you're traveling, all the bugs and everything end up right here. So this is a heavier material, and it's also a lot easier to clean and keep that nice shine after all the bugs hit on it. We've got the bigger 5-foot tack room here. So we added a foot to the tack room. I had them put the folding step there in place of the running board, because you can see it's a wider, bigger step compared to the running board.
Yes.
And it just locks on here with the gas shock to fold up and down. The straight wall here separating the tack room and the horse area, we had it fully carpeted and insulated. So that way, as all your bridles and your bits and your lead ropes are hanging on this, as you're hitting the bumps in the road and they're bouncing and swinging, we're not making a bunch of clanging and spooking the horses. You've got interior lights. The switch for that is in here. I've got the battery switch disconnected right now, so these lights won't work. But as long as that switch is on, you can leave your tack in here, be able to come and grab stuff, turn the lights on without being hooked to the truck. Couple saddle racks, couple poles here for your blanket bars. Now you'll notice the spacings can change. There's a nut on the bottom and the top of each one of these, so you can loosen that and then slide these up for whatever spacings you need. If you're carrying a third saddle or you need more racks here for your saddle pads, we've got extras of those in stock, so we can make that go. We did the rubber floor mat in place of the carpet here in the floor, just so that way as you're bringing buckets, square bales, your picks, your forks, it's a lot easier to get this area cleaned out and not hold any of those smells or the moisture. A lot of storage up here in the gooseneck. Now we did carpet this, so that way if you're putting your gear up here in the gooseneck, it's less likely to slide around and not be on the floor when you get to your destination. Couple windows here. You've got a bar here, so that way if you've got any kind of show suits or show gear that you need to hang, there's a place there for that. You're pre-framed already for an AC unit, so if we ever wanted to drop an AC in here to keep it cool, you're already set up for that. Back here in the horse area, you've got the drop-down window with the aluminum face guard. They use the round dowel rods here to make sure there's no sharp edges, no burrs. We also roll this side here and everything gets sanded up and make sure it's nice and smooth before we do the final install here. There's a plunger here holding this in place, so we can pop that out to close it. If you want to lower the face guard here, there's 2 little notches, and this comes out here. You'll notice that we use the nylon bushings here on these 2 end tabs, just trying to keep that metal on metal contact, keep it nice and quiet in here, keep the horses a little bit calmer. And then you've actually got 2 different latches here for the escape door. We've got the heavy butterfly latch, so that way if horses paw, scuff, kick, door is well secured. But you also have the Bower style latch here, and it latches on both sides. So when you're walking in and out, you have a latch that works both directions. You've got the heavy extruded sides here. All of this gets welded to the wall. So in addition to the nicer look, it also gives you some structural benefits there. Got 2 tie rings on this side. We'll have 2 tie rings on the opposite side. The curtains here have the heavy aluminum latch here, so they can secure, you can lock them, and you can leave it folded like this while you're traveling to help keep that air circulation in there, keep the horses cool. You've got the big ramp on the back. It has the conveyor belt style rubber. Keep a little more traction so that way horses aren't slipping coming in and out. I like how on the Cimarrons you'll notice this rubber transitions all the way here and it is screwed into the floor of the trailer. That way shavings, manure, all those things don't get caught in these springs here and make that ramp get stiff, get binded up when you're raising and lowering it. This one also has the worm flooring put in it. We had that poured in here. The worm flooring I love because it has a permanent sealer that goes on that aluminum. It's a non-porous material. So that way any urine or water or manure, nothing ever makes contact with that aluminum. So it's gonna keep the floor structurally sound and you don't have to mess with pulling those mats anymore. It's just one less headache to deal with. We had them put the different color scheme in here to make the trailer feel lighter, a little brighter, a little more open. It also keeps, as they poop and it gets dirty in here, it's gonna look newer longer because a lot of those stains blend instead of sticking out with that contrast against traditional black rubber. You've got pads here on tail bars and chest bars. You've got an easy bracket here to undo these. They just drop. It is an aluminum bar underneath the pad. We use a high-grade nylon bushing here, so that way when we put these in, again, trying to avoid that metal-on-metal contact, so that way there's not a lot of noise in here. There is a pin on this divider here, so it's actually pinned to the floor. But if we've got a young colt or a trouble horse, we can't actually grab this knob and pull it to be able to swing this divider one way or the other to get more space when we're loading and unloading. If we're only traveling with just one horse, we're going to want to put him in on the left side stall here, so that way with the crown of the road, it's going to ride better for you that way. Put that pin back in place. We've got the pads here on each side of the divider. Keep the horses a little more comfortable. We had them put the gel bars or airflow style dividers here for the shoulder portion and the head stall part here. Again, just trying to keep some more airflow in there, keep the horses cooler. And you do have 2 different knobs here to, if you just need to take all this out. Let's say we're hauling a young colt, we want to open it up just as a box stall, or maybe you need to put a golf cart in here, a lawnmower, other sorts of equipment. So keep your versatility there. The chest bars here do have a locking mechanism, and I'm gonna walk around here. So you'll actually just lift this tab here, and then this chest bar will pop right on out. So there's unlock position, and then there's your lock position. This part here, when you're going to take all of this out, it just keeps this headstall piece from swinging. But now you can open it up here, and then you've got a knob right here to pull, and then that way you can swing this in either direction. We did have these stalls built to be oversized. So you've got an extra few inches in between the chest bar and the tail bar for your longer bodied horses. Horses with the bigger necks and head, we added 6 inches here in the front to give them more room. What that also allows is it gives you enough room. If you come in here and you've tied your first horse in to the tie here, and we've actually got ties on either side, so you can pick and choose which one you want to tie the horse to, or which one you want to hang your hay net off of. But it gives you enough space that I can walk through here without having to move the headstall or take it out. So it makes it a lot easier to get in, check on the horses for your longer trips, or just as you're passing through loading and unloading the horses. Rubber here is 54 inches high. It's 4.5 feet high. You'll notice that's anywhere between 6 to 8 inches higher than a lot of other brands that are out there. Really nice transition piece going from the rubber to the skin here. These walls are completely insulated, so that's going to give it some more cooling benefits, and it'll also, as you've got your ties or your hay nets here, you're not going to scratch the wall and you're not going to see any of those marks on the exterior of the trailer. Big bright OptiBrite lights in here. You've got some extra roof vents. If we want to put the fans in here, we can either mount them up here or we can mount them in the back corner back here. Either or. I see different opinions on that. I wouldn't tell you there's a right or wrong answer to that. You've got really good access panels in here. If you need to replace the lights or the wiring for them, it's easy access. These lights also have a built-in reverse light. So when you're unloading at night and you need to get this thing back to the barn, it's going to make your life a lot easier. You do have double brake and turn. So you've got one high and low here, and you've got the reverse on both. You've got your rear load light here. These are just your cam locks for the Dutch doors or the curtains up here. And then you've got your 2 tie rings here on the other side. One important note too on this is this trailer does have, we went ahead and upgraded from a 15-inch aluminum wheel to a 16-inch. So you've got a bigger, heavier tire that runs at 80 PSI in place of the standard D range, which is a 65 PSI. So it is a Goodyear tire. It's a bigger, heavier tire, but it also gets this trailer higher off the ground. So it works better with the newer trucks that are just getting taller and taller with every new model. And it also keeps situations where we drag the ground somewhere for the high points and the low points there. We have a junction box right here where these 2 lines come together for the brake wiring. So if we do have a brake issue, there's easy access there to be able to work on it if necessary. Hopefully you never need to, but they had their thinking hat on, and if something arises, we want to be able to fix it quickly. Got a marker light here. I love how they stamp the logo here in the fender. It's really slick and clean. Matching door here on the other side, so escape door on both sides. You'll look, they've got some really beautiful welds here. All of the exterior welds on a Cimarron are TIG welded, and we've got grease fittings on either side of them. You'll notice a lot of brands, they may be on one side and not the other. And sometimes you may see where you grease one side, but you can't get that grease moved to the other hinge. Cimarron eliminated that problem, having it on either side. Same for the butterfly latch here. And you've got the running board on this side as well to make it easier when you're getting in and out, checking on these horses. Those are a lot of the highlights on this trailer. If there's any other questions that we could help answer between myself and Brandon, we're the sales crew here, and we'd be happy to help. Thanks.